Hey people, I woke up this morning on 9/11, September 11th, 19 years after, and I got 911 subscribers. I must have picked up about 7 yesterday. So I'm going to do a little 9/11 special. But I've been in construction and concrete and steel for over 40 years ago. I started this. My dad did it. Been doing it since I was a kid. And I can promise you that concrete and steel does not go down like that. I stole this clip from SGT report, but they're still sleeping over there. They're thinking Jesus or Q's coming to save us. And we are the Jesus that's got to save us.
Building 7, the third worst structural failure in modern history.
That was all done by a professional demolition company. But this is a 2-minute clip that I stole from the Corbett report. I'll leave his link. I'm not sure which movie it was. But every gear in this head is perfectly tuned and oiled. You can't fool this man. This is the sharpest guy in the truther movement. And let me play this short 2-minute clip here and it'll explain it all.
In 1998, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey agreed to privatize the World Trade Center, the complex of office towers in Lower Manhattan that they had owned and operated since their construction in 1973. In April 2001, an agreement was reached with a consortium of investors led by Silverstein Properties, and on July 24, 2001, Larry Silverstein, who already owned World Trade Center Building 7, signed a 99-year lease for the Twin Towers and Buildings 4 and 5. The lease was for $3.2 billion and was financed by a bridge loan from GMAC, the commercial mortgage arm of General Motors, as well as $111 million from Lloyd Goldman and Joseph Kerr, individual real estate investors. Silverstein Properties only put down $14 million of its own money. The deal was unusual in a variety of ways. Although the Port Authority carried only $1.5 billion of insurance coverage on the WTC complex, which earlier that year had been valued at $1.2 billion, Silverstein had insisted on doubling that amount, insuring the buildings for $3.55 billion. Silverstein's insurance broker struggled to put that much coverage in place and ultimately had to split it among 25 dealers. The negotiations were so involved that only temporary contracts were in place for the insurance at the time the lease was signed, and by September the contracts were still being finalized. Silverstein's group was also explicitly given the right to rebuild the structures if they were destroyed, and even to expand the amount of retail space on the site if rebuilding did take place. Within hours of the destruction of the Twin Towers on September 11th, Silverstein was on the phone to his lawyers, trying to determine if his insurance policies could construe the attacks as 2 separate insurable incidents rather than one. Silverstein spent years in the courts attempting to win $7.1 billion from his $3.55 billion insurance policy, and in 2007 walked away with $4.55 billion, the largest single insurance settlement ever.
So on the morning of 9/11, I woke up and I was watching it happen. I think I woke up right about 7 o'clock, turned the TV on and watched the first building burn and watched the second plane hit the second building. But all your politicians need to be hung for this. There's only one politician that actually told the truth, Ilhan Omar. And she probably said all that they would allow her to say. Some people did something. And that's what happened. She couldn't say anymore. But everybody needs to be subbed to this Corbett report. He's living in Japan now, so he gets away with some stuff. And he does all his own investigation. He don't put up no bull that hearsay that he heard. And if he ever makes a mistake, he's sure come back in his next movie and he'll tell you about his mistake and correct it. What you're looking at is Building 7. This is the first building that Silverstein owned, the one he was working out of while he was making the deal. They have several conversations recorded where they were talking about pulling this building. It was already previously set with explosives to pull it. And while it was burning, they were talking about pulling the building. The police and the fire department all knew about this. They were involved in the conversations.
Because not one of the 80,000 members of the American Institute of Architects, of which I'm a member, has heard about Building 7, the third worst structural failure in modern history, after the Twin Towers. This is an extraordinary collapse we should all be aware of, but we find in our conferences throughout the country that none of us are aware of it.
So the Jews work off of this lunar calendar, and they have a metatonic cycle where the moon goes to the exact same place it was 19 years ago. Within the hour, the moon will be in the same place in the sky on the same day. So I'm sure Silverstein will be having a big metatonic party today. But I'll leave a link below to the Corbett report and to this SGT report. And although this Q may be legit, it's all been infiltrated, and they've mixing a lot of bull in there, and it's to make all the QAnon conspiracy look silly later. But it's never good to tell the people that we're doing this. Don't worry about it. Just sit on your hands. We'll take care of it. It's time to wake up. And ain't no Jesus coming. It's time for us to do this. All right. Good day.